Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Are we back at it again? We are. We are indeed on a rare weekend day, which I don't usually stream, so we'll see how this goes on a weekend. I shall see. We are building a debug renderer today. Well, building a debug renderer. So I will fill you in once I've got the chat up. Again, just let me know if the volume's too loud or too quiet or anything like that. I'll try and get stuff working. Also, yeah, if anyone wants to join the Discord, I'm having problems with inviting people. I'm not entirely sure why. I should get on there. So I'm just gonna have to manually add people, I think, for now. We shall see. So yeah, what are we building? We are building a a debug renderer for lots of different things, but primarily right now we are building a debug renderer for our collision geometry, so we can actually see what we're colliding against. And it'll hopefully give us a size, a bit of level editor. No, it's not quite a level editor, but we'll at least be able to see what we can and can't collide with, and why things aren't working or whatever. So yeah, I'm just gonna make an invite to my server. This will expire in 7 days, but I feel like none of the invites have been working, so here's the invite. It's not like I'm going to be streaming for 7 days. Yeah, if that doesn't work, let me know. We can get started. Right, okay. Thanks for putting up with me. So, a couple of things. We did make some progress, which is great. First thing you'll notice is the duck is moving, and it's moving, and then it stops on something. The second thing is this orange wire mesh sphere. This is the debug mesh that's supposed to render kind of like a sphere around something. I'm loading a model just because it was easier to do that. And yes, I don't exactly know why it's doing this. I don't really know how to make anything. I made this model myself, so that's probably half the problem. But yes, we have like a sphere which is the wrong size that needs to be debugged. I've also turned up depth for this. There should be another one, but I literally cannot see it. There is no. So what I'm trying to make at the moment is a second sphere appear somewhere that's. I feel like they both exist, but they're both on the same position, which is kind of annoying. Well, it's kind of confusing because I'm doing the same updating code as like what this dock did, but or all these rocks as well, because they're all they have their positions updated, but this hasn't updated its position. So I'm not entirely sure exactly why that's happening. But yeah, we have, collision detection. This will be also used outside of just collision detection. This will be used for like, assuming that I get it like working in that. This will be used on top of some kind of graphics programming stuff like culling, geometry. That'll tell me like where the view frustum is, or there's a couple more things I want to do with just the debug renderer than just like draw spheres. But for now, the goal is to effectively draw a sphere around this rock and sphere around this duck, in the sense that I could figure out exactly where the collision detection is happening, because it's possible that the size of the sphere is like super tiny, like it's like inside the duct, you know, and this sphere is like too big. I mean, it's relatively correct, but I don't really know how big this sphere is relative to this sphere because I can't see it. I can only see the model. So yeah, effectively, the task today is to try and update this debug model at the same time and in the same way with the same logic as the scene. The problem is the scale is also different, so there's a lot of work, a lot of like unknowns at the moment. I'm using as well, just sorry to ramble so much, but it's quite interesting. I'm trying to go fully bindless with this shader, so there is no descriptor sets. The downside of that is the indexing into the data is kind of complicated. Because I thought instead of just having like a position and then that gets indexed into, I want a struct that gets indexed into. It does kind of work at the moment. We do have like yellow being passed to the fragment shader. Otherwise it would just not be, it wouldn't be a color at all. But it's difficult to figure out exactly, to update it in exactly the same way the model that needs to be surrounded by this collision geometry. It's kind of like, I have a lot going on here. So yeah, it's a bit of a minefield on what matrix multiplication that we need. We do have the thing that scales all the models in this code as well, but I've found little success in. Actually, I say that, and I haven't actually. I fixed something earlier that kind of was just not working at all. So I could probably bring these to the same variable and stop having them be separate. And at least then we're on, that matrix is on the same scale. But yeah, it's a lot of figuring out exactly what to do. I mean, they're already the same scale, which is nice. But yeah, it's better to, you know, if we're going to have a global scale, it needs to scale the colliders as well. So yeah. Right. Yeah, okay, that's good. So at least we can see everything. So there should be two, and they should be at different positions. It's possible that we don't have two. We only have one. So this is me horrendously setting up stuff that eventually will be tied together in some kind of like organized class or object or function at least, rather than like arbitrarily doing what we're doing here. So yeah, in fact I probably can get away with, instead of worrying about rotation, which might be messing things up, I could literally just set the position raw. I would obviously want the same orient. Maybe I want the. See, I'm not exactly sure like what the orientation should be of a piece of collision geometry. Should I rotate the object? Yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll find out. Yeah, you see the position here is the same. Actually, it's a lie. Let's zoom out. Let's make sure. So I've turned off the depth for this thing, so there shouldn't be anything that's like in front of it. It's rendered on top of everything with no depth. So there shouldn't be anything that gets in the way. So the first thing I think I'm going to start tackling is can I even move the first one? Because that'd be a big giveaway. So yeah, it's going to be debugging today. Yeah, that's a big obvious sign that we're not actually updating the position at all. I mean, I could make this way bigger, this change. It's hard to say. So 9999, and I'll make this 999 as well. But I thought 10 and 20 would probably be enough to see. If not, then yeah. So I've set the position, and the position is still at 0, 0. Which means that we're not getting the data updated to the shader, I think, for the debug shaders at least. Oops. Let's get this started. This is my little timer. If anyone's a first-time viewer, I usually time myself when I'm actually coding and pause it when I'm not. Or studying. Studying counts as well. Anyway, so a lot of this has been done today. I didn't do any of this yesterday. I just got the collision detection working yesterday for that rock and that duck, but that's what I did yesterday. I wonder... See, I'm just trying to figure out exactly where the break would be. I had a feeling that that would be updating in real time, but let's just offset this and see what happens. So I'm making it huge so I can actually see the change. And oops. That will obviously not move, but it should be in a different place from 0, 0, 0. So we're constantly seeing a... Ooh, interesting. Oh, okay. So that clearly indicates that the matrix... Oh. This is a matrix, and I've just set it to a arbitrary value. Yeah, that's a bit tricky, actually. So if this is... So this is getting updated. That's a good sign, actually, because that tells me at least there is something. So that broke because I completely did something silly. I have access to these data map actually. Let's do what I tried to do, but actually do it properly. Mat falls S and new mat equals this, and then I'm just going to update the last 3 elements of the list of the matrix with different values. So 9999.f, and this will be the XY position. This will be the translation. Assuming that I actually remember to update these guys. I don't need to update any of the rest. Then I just set map4 equals to this. So that hopefully will be a different position. So I'm not entirely sure if we're getting like a... Actually, I can probably check. A matrix which is just super plain, basically. Let's see. So yeah, that's just an identity matrix. Okay, so with that identity matrix, okay, so, total colliders. Interesting. So if I zoom out, 9999 seem to be too big. Yeah, that's too big. Let's do 10 then, and just see if that even looks different. So, you know, different errors always progress that. Okay, yeah. So, when it feels like it, it does update, which is good. That moves to the right place. Great. So it looks like we have everything set correctly in the sense that we do update the position properly. Now, I'm going to check something. Now, I also want to check if this updates for both. So I hope there should be 2, so I'm going to move the position of 1 and keep the other one in the same place. This will at least tell me that something has happened. This suggests as well that we're just not getting any of the updated stuff from the physics simulation. Interesting. We don't get 2. This is definitely 2, this number. Yeah. Let's see, what can I... So, I equals 1. What ends up happening then if I do that? Yeah, okay, so... Have I made a simple mistake in the for loop? I is less than total colliders, I plus plus. Okay, I'm going a bit nuts here, so I'm just going to check something. I just want to check the values of the loop. Just to rule it out. I don't want to have to be like debugging this for a minute. I did not put a new line in. Not interested. We won't be able to see anything. So I want to see at least 10 10 10 10 10. Yeah, this will go extremely slow because of that. Yeah, okay, so the loop itself is making sense. That does equal 1 at some point. So it could be like the mapping code, but so this is supposed to be mapping my buffer device address SSBO-like structure, so it can be modified at runtime, and it's giving me an array of them. It should be anyway, from the buffer that we created. We created a bindless buffer, type X, the total amount of colliders. These are storage types. There's the data. I should probably set the name. Debug renderer. And yeah, let's yeah, this didn't seem to do anything at all. I think this gets overridden when it comes to we just get an identity matrix every single time, which is strange because we get things updated in the other part of the draw loop. So this is the debugger. This is the actual rendering or whatever. And this seems to be updating completely fine. All I'm doing here is updating one, not the other, because I don't want to update everything, but I don't need to care that much when I'm actually doing the debug stuff, because this should be dictating what we end up drawing. I think maybe we have like a layer of indirection that is causing an issue. It's hard to say. The difference between the two is actually to do with the amount of data we send up. I could just go to that version, this struct, and then you know, get rid of all this stuff, but it doesn't seem to be causing an issue, this stuff. We are correctly getting the view projection matrix. We are correctly getting the scale matrix which we create here. It's just when we ask for the transform of the body at whatever I, based on how many colliders we have, which is the only one that should technically be updating is the second collider, which is the one which is the docks one. This then should be moving to update based on this conversion that we did effectively just here. And we established that this technically works if I manually update the code, but for some reason we are getting a identity matrix every single time we ask for the world transform. That might be incorrect, to be honest. We might need to get... See, I'm not entirely sure how to use this that well, to be honest. We could get the center of mass transform or something, but let's try it, I think. I'm kind of curious, like, what the difference is, visually at least. Because all I want to know is the position. And if the center of mass is its like center position, then maybe that's the correct solution here. Okay, so that still is updating properly. The duck is, that is. So it looks like for the most part this is correct. Right, so it still does the collision properly. You, on the other hand, have not moved. Let's just zoom out again. Right. Center of mass. So we have entities, we have body ID. I should change the music. I've been enjoying this song a lot, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if everyone else is. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite song in the whole game of Stardew Valley. But yeah, let's actually move on to different tracks. Yeah, there we go. Bit of Ratchet and Clank. A funny story. Well, funny story, I guess. It turns out anime music is not the same as, according to YouTube, as video game music, and I haven't got copyright striked on some of my videos. I've got copyright claimed, I think it's called. And although my channel isn't monetized at all, it's just kind of like, whoops. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I got a bunch of copyright claims, which are completely valid. Some of them are 3 on some videos. So I've revamped the music playlist to hopefully have less copyright stuff in. I've added extra stuff in, so we'll see. Some of the stuff is obvious. I don't know why I thought it was non-copyrighted, but yeah, I'm trying to stick to strictly video game music, which is like 80% of what I listen to anyway, so that's chill. And anything that's video game adjacent, I think I'm going to have to avoid. I just don't want to get a copyright strike or some kind of weird issue happening. Although this is a bit loud for me, I'm going to admit. Anyway. So what are we trying to do here? This updates and the other stuff doesn't. What is this? This is draw matrices. This is fine. This would update everything, but we don't update everything. We just want to update 0 and 1. I could be extremely explicit and just take it out the for loop. But why would that make a difference? Let's think. Get center mass transform, body ID entity. So we have the duck and the rock are that you may have seen in the demo that we just saw. They have their own body ID, which can be used to get stuff out of them. Which hopefully get center of mass transform is the actual we could actually check if this is valid. It's possible that we do this twice and we just get the identity every single time, because the lock fails because we're doing some threading and we haven't reached the end of the loop or something. And that means, yeah, we'll just get the identity every time, and that would just be the same position. Which means we might have to do some kind of like storing of the data. But yeah, putting a breakpoint there would at least tell us. Hey man, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Just trying to debug some stuff. Aswin. Hopefully I said your name right. Yeah, so I'm trying to get this sphere here to surround this rock, so we can actually see, is this duck correctly colliding with this? Because this, hypothetically, this collision sphere could be tiny, it could be huge, it could be all out of whack until we know exactly what we're doing. So this is called like a debug renderer, where we draw stuff that the player won't see to help us debug stuff. And yeah, right now we are getting a position which seems to just be the identity matrix, which means no position change for this, but position change for the duck, which don't know why that's happening. Maybe it isn't that. I just had a thought. I'm updating the matrix here, right? So it's like the 0 element is being updated. Where is this thing? Yeah, because this is important. If we don't have the index, we're not going to index into this properly. Let me read the shader again. So we basically have to keep track of two things here. The entity index, which is this, and the actual position in the vector. In the buffer. Let's see. I mean, I think that's the problem. Actually, it's not to do with the threading. Well, I think it's not anyway, because we didn't get I didn't hit a breakpoint on that lock failing at any point, because we did everything correctly. It's almost like I wonder if I updated the color on the ith element to something else, that would help us a bit more. Because the position might be wrong, but let's see if we're actually updating the second piece of collision geometry, which we might not be. So I'm literally just going to be very explicit here. Color, thank you. And this should be it's black. We have yellow. Let's do magenta. That's fine for now. So that'll be magenta for the second element. If they're both in the same position, I guess this might not make sense, but we'll at least see what's rendering on what. So we see yellow, not So I think that's the problem then. It's not that GLM isn't giving us the right data. It's not that the way we structured, the way we structured things. It's more to do with the fact that this array of elements here is only updating the first element. And I can probably guarantee that with a very simple position change. Interestingly, these aren't affected at all. Oh yeah, they get overridden. But let's move that rock that we're supposed to be seeing. Where is it? The collision geometry is here. So I'm going to move the rock a little bit and the collision geometry just down a little bit. I don't think that'll be that noticeable, but I want to see is just the rock being off center. Okay, 10 didn't seem to do anything. Oh no, wait, that does seem like a different point. I think I've got to change it by quite a bit so we even notice. I think that changed, but that just might be me seeing things, so let's go 50. So it should be like further down, I think. Okay, so the rock hasn't moved. Whoops. How come that's not happened? I mean, I could increase this by like 1,000 and just see, because this is quite a big number as well. Maybe it's just the scale. But yeah, this is just going to be me for the whole time, I think. Oh wait, that actually worked. I have no idea where that rock is now, but it shouldn't collide. I think it should just keep going. Okay, so the position moved, but the rock didn't. Oh, that makes sense. I think I'm not updating the collision geometry. No, hang on. Let's, yeah. It's, yeah. I know this is kind of scruffy, but center of mass. Let's, yeah, we don't need to update everything. If we're not moving it, we're only moving the collider, so let's get rid of that for a minute, because that's scruffy. And we'll take this in, and we'll play that, I think, and just see what happens. Okay. Interesting. It's a different scale. Which, okay, so the collision is still working. Oh, that makes sense. I think that makes sense because the collision is, sorry, the model was never scaled by anything because we didn't update it. So what I'm going to keep doing is I've just got to keep checking stuff, just make sure things update. How fast will your engine build? It's admittedly got slower recently because I've had to add a physics engine. But it's generally quite fast. It's, I try to make it, the last thing I want to do is, I think on a couple of streams, you may have seen, if you've been here before, that I've tried to reduce compilation time by deleting source files in foreign libraries that I was, like, building. I try not to use templates to make things fast as I can, and I don't compile in exceptions. So a rebuild typically takes, at the moment, I'm not really happy with it, but it takes about, from scratch, roughly 3 minutes, which is still kind of slow, honestly. I would prefer to get that faster. I think 3 minutes is probably like as slow as I want to ever get it. I've deleted so many source files to in the physics library that I've added to help with that. Right, so eventually, hopefully, it'll be built a lot faster. Sorry, it'll build a lot faster when I'm compiling. Trying to think, what can I do to get this to work? Let's at least make the piece of your engine takes 3 seconds. That's really cool. Is that in C++ too? Because that's quite impressive. It's just the bare minimum right now, no physics. Yeah, it's, for me, it's like I have to start adding stuff and have to it has to get slower, unfortunately. But I'm really not trying to get it to a point where it's like 45 minutes like I had at work. Yeah, I've seen the Jolt C project, but I'm not sure how up to date it was. It didn't seem to be as yeah, because that would get rid of the inheritance, I guess. I did briefly look at this, but if it's just a wrapper, then I don't know. It just seemed pretty old in it. But maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's just the API that's wrapped. I don't know, to be honest. But, you know, I'm fine with it right now. I can work with this. But anyway, if only Jolt worked properly. Well, if only, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not using the Jolt. Jolt has a debug renderer. I'm writing my own at the moment, so we're in the midst of that. Right, so what I want to do is, that did do something, but it went too far. My question is why, when I updated this position, why did it only update the position and not the collision geometry? Collision geometry's position. Because that's the whole point, right? Oh, right. There we go. That's the obvious giveaway. So let's go with 100. Yeah, excuse my coding at the moment. I'm kind of like in the the tools are all on the garage floor, if that makes sense. Everything's kind of a mess. It will be cleaned up. So if you see any code and go, what the heck is he doing? You know. Will be changed shortly, TM. Okay, where's the collision geometry gone? Oh, move down. I went way up here. And this is colliding with something. Okay, let me, I'm not entirely sure what happened then. Just gotta see this again. Okay. What did the duck do? Right. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, let's put this at 0, 0. And maybe this shape's like horrendously huge. But it didn't seem that big when it was at 0, 0. It's hang on. I think this R3 arg position or whatever, like the scale they're working with is completely different, I think. So, yeah. So it's possible. Yeah, this is why I need the debug renderer. I can't figure out what's going on. Like these numbers might be like ridiculous, but I can't tell. And I can't tell if anything's working if I can't move the debug meshes around it. The colliders, effectively. So yeah, let's keep digging. So colliders. I almost want to store these out of here and just kind of see if I can update them again. Because it is a... I wonder what would happen if I did that. I'm going to try it just for a minute. Just comment this out. Get rid of all this, I think. Nope. I want to delete this. Go down. And then all that. Then we simply move this. So there. And then we have one lines coming out. Obviously get rid of this with the cuts because I'm going to move that. Whoops. There we go. Nope. Semicolon will eventually arise. There we go. Okay, so there is another for loop that's updating things. I'm curious to see what the difference is here. So if I do this, I mean, we're copying twice, but I'm kind of curious now, right? This array is the same size as this, I believe. The positional buffer is no, it's not. Oh, whatever. But we're actually no, it's fine because we're only updating the first two because we're using a condition that stops it to go past anything else. Right. Okay. So we're not going to get like some bad data. That's all. Move back. Let's move back a lot. Okay, so that didn't seem to do anything. So that would at least tell us that if we're doing something wrong, we're doing something wrong in the right place. If that makes sense, it's a bit weird to say, but maybe it's just how we're updating things. I'm gonna go in the shader again. Let me see. So we have vertices, which is just that. I might just remove these two for this. And we need view projection. We need the position. That's the actual vertices position, the vertex positions. Interesting. No, I think that looks better than it is. We've just yeah, don't be fooled by that. That's not progress, unfortunately. That's just a different problem of the same thing. What I don't understand is, though, we can update. Okay, real. No, how do I? All right, let's just check. I don't know, 1. That's a terrible. This is terrible, but because we have 2 different things now. No, yeah. Gotta move out just in case. Nope, nope, nope. Sad. No, what am I doing? I'm gonna just get 1. Get the same piece of collision. I've just got to go through it. I've got to go through and debug each individual. What? It's not in here. Is it really small? No, it should be rendered on top, so I should be able to see it. Because the render order, like I said, I've disabled depth for this. So the things that have depth should be rendered. Do you think it's possible that the thing's inside the dock and I don't see it because it's so small? Because it's yellow on yellow or something? Right, we'll just have to wait for it to collide because it's going to be too awkward otherwise. Right, yeah, sure. I think I'm going to have to change the color as well. Yeah, that's completely useless. Let's check. Oops, I don't know what that was. Let's change this to. Yeah, let's do magenta again. Where is the? So here are the colors. Magenta is this. when you have no green and you're full on red and blue. Right, we're just going to wait for this again. Right. So it should be pink inside here. Nope. Nope. There's no pink anywhere else. Let's go a bit closer just in case. It's got too small. Oh, 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 oh. Jeez. Is this still moving? Okay, it's all the way over here. Oh my goodness, it's almost being clipped by the far plane. Why is it over here? So it looks like we've been rendering two different things. Let's see. So it's over here. Right, let's just try and... Right, I'm going to go back and try and find that again. With two things rendered. If that makes sense. So we have... It's possible that it's always been there. Just looped. I know, it's just long. No problem, I'm actually enjoying this track. So we have a... where's the thing? This. I want to change this to I again. So we have one that's always at the center, but we also have one that's like off to the side somewhere, which gets... I think it gets clipped by the far plane if I'm not careful. So that's there. And because it's been so small, we haven't been able to see it. I think it's this way. Could be wrong there. Okay, now we just got to find it, which side it was on. Because if we go the wrong way, it'll be clipped by the far plane. Like, guaranteed, so... Fortunately, I've got like a speed up button on my camera, so... I can at least go very quickly. Maybe I should find the direction, and then... Because it does just pop into exit. Maybe I should make the far plane massive or something as well. Yeah, let's increase the far plane, so there's less likely chance of it clipping, and then figure out where it is when there's only one. Because right, let's change this to like 5K, which is pretty huge. So, is it here anywhere? Is it forward? Which direction do I have to go in to find this thing? Right, I'm going to change it to 1 because it's possible that the... I don't know, hang on. So it was there, but I just need to find it again and figure out the direction. So the far plane is 5 times further away than it used to be. So I'm going to go backwards first. I swear it was like this way? Oh, there it is. So, if the duck is... Yeah. Okay, so let's move this way, way further in. Or maybe I can't. It's possible that the model scale is actually making things 10 times worse. Or better? Let's bring back the model scale, we'll get rid of the model. Model scale. Kind of curious now, what's the effect of that? Is it worse or better? Oh, it is moving. Okay, so it collided. But it's nowhere near where the duck is at all, by an order of magnitude. By like several orders of magnitude, maybe. I'm also not getting 2, definitely, because that would be happening for both. Right, let's change the position of this then. I don't know why. I swallowed a fly, but seriously, I don't know why this is not working. Do you think that... No. Right? This makes everything super small. Where's the duck? No, it's just the same problem, but way smaller. That's like a pile of dust now. Right, okay, so... Hang on. Is this the issue? The entire time? This should be at 5, not... I don't know. No. Does this make a difference then? No, it didn't. There's a huge mismatch here between the position of the actual geometry. Sorry, the position between the actual model. So if I put this at like 10, you'll see that the duck basically is inside the rock immediately, and the collision detection just goes off. But I'm kind of curious, like, where is the... Oh. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Nope. Okay. 10. 10. Maximum confusion. Nope, still over here, I guess. Yep, there it is. It's moving very fast as well. Right, let's try again. Let's try this. At 10. Oh. Okay. Why is it going? Why is it going the wrong way? Alright, let's change these to 0 as well. So this should be at 0, 0, 0. That's fine. Entity, body, bloody blah is moving. This should be a 10. Puzzle, puzzle, puzzle. Okay, so it's already colliding, so the duck's already inside the thing. That's what that text is on the side. It's telling me that the thing you're trying to collide with is already there. What to do, what to do. Let's check everything's good. Stream health, yep. What are we doing then? What do I want to do? That's the question. So we are adding a force that's 400 and it's just too close. The collision geometries are too big. It is weird. Why are you going that way? Why are you so slow? Do you know what I mean? Like, it should be... Like, why is this so much quicker? Is that accelerating? I've just got to make sure. I'm just going to have to eyeball it, to be honest. I feel like these models are, like, huge, and this is, like, so tiny. But if that's the case, I need to scale them by the same value. Which I can do. Hi Dom, how you doing? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're having a good weekend. Whatever time it is for you. So I'm in the midst of being completely confused. So I have a lot to think about as I progress. Two things are happening. So when I update a body by -4 in the X direction, one thing moves like an order of magnitude faster than another, and they should be moving at the same speed. Can't see why that is the case. So I'm working on this so I can do a debug renderer. It is very strange. And this doesn't... Can I blame this? I think what I'm going to do is open up Blender and just see how big these are relative to each other. These models, because I don't know. Because if one's huge and the other one's tiny, then it's probable that... Not GIMP. What am I doing? That when I update one, the other one is just like lagging behind by a huge margin. I basically don't know how to use this tool, so if you are an artist watching and you're like, what is he doing? I don't know either. Yeah, let's forgive me for my terribleness. So I have like a UV sphere which I triangulated. Or did I even triangulate this? That'd be a good start if I didn't triangulate. No, I did. Okay. And now I need to import. Hopefully, you can import 2 models. I have no idea. I've never actually done this. So I want to see the dock model. Like how big they are relative to each other. Because the duck might be like orders of magnitude in size, massive. And this might be like a tiny little sphere or something. So we'll see. No, they're roughly around the same size. Which is like completely... Which is what it looks like, honestly. But for some reason, one model is tiny and the other one is... No. Yeah, that makes sense, because they do look similar in size. It's just... when I get the same data... I honestly thought I was assigning the same position data to each. I could be wrong. So this is the position data for that. And this needs to be a vector. Oh, hang on. Am I being stupid? I am. Okay. I've been like really stupid this entire time. I'm assigning a vector to a matrix and assuming that it's going to do the same thing. What I actually need to do is set this to 0, 0, 0. Okay, so that would make sense. That would be like... I'm sending data that doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm starting a position where it doesn't make any sense, right? So this should be 10. Right, okay, so hopefully... Right, so let's just make sure I'm not making a mistake anywhere else. Okay. Right. We shall see. If at least we have... No. Where are you going relative to this dock? Why are you so much faster? So that at least they're moving on the same axis, I think. This rock wasn't here, it'd be easier, but... Oh, no. Yeah, this is just going very slow. In comparison to the force. But when I make this larger, it just gets like out of hand. It's also possible that I'm doing this somewhere else, or I'm sending up junk data or something. Let's see. So this is a... Let's just check everything. I'm at 4. And then in my vertex shader, which should be scalar, so it shouldn't really matter, but I'm going to check anyway. Map 4, map 4, map 4, map 4, vec 3. Usually it's the lower elements get screwed, so in this case I'm just going to move the position to the top. If the alignment's all screwed up, but this is how you would align them anyway if it was 16 byte aligned. So okay. Cut, paste, and then build. I can't imagine that's going to make any difference, but if it does, that'll be interesting to know. Tell you what, there's steam coming off the top of my head right now. I'm really racking my brains trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so why would... Okay, let's just challenge my assumptions here. Is it possible that I'm like doubly speeding things up? Right, all I'm going to do here is... Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this for loop. I'm just kind of wondering if I'm kind of doing this twice. We're just going to set this to the 0th element. We're going to ignore the 2nd element. Now, in fact, we're going to make the 2nd element do something as well, but it's not going to be very similar. Yeah, it's just going to do the same thing. Just so there's no ambiguity between which one. We're not doing this twice, which may be like calling something. I don't know. Anyway, huh. Now I have some shearing. If I do this, though, it doesn't move. That's the other thing. What's that? You may think, oh, success. They're the... No. One's moving, the other one is not. Why is the duck's position? It must be... I don't know. It's like... The shaders are different or something. The only difference here is I use a uniform. I think what I might have to do is... I wanted to... I wonder if it makes sense to move all this to bindless and just build a massive data structure with a bunch of data in, like model, instead of model position, where we're here, we have like model data, and it basically just has everything that the model position stuff, right? So this and this and this, effectively, so it's the same structure. The only reason I haven't gone full bindless is because UBOs can be faster on some hardware because they're hardware slots, the literal physical fixed points on the graphics card. And I thought I might be able to exploit that if I just stick with bindless a bit stick with binding for a bit longer, despite the graphics driver overhead. But I could be shooting myself in the foot here by having two different types of basically descriptor set layouts. Whereas one is a buffer device address and the other one is a standard descriptor set layout, which you would find in like Vulkan 1.0. That's something, but I've also noticed I've got scalar twice for no reason. Yeah, there's no need for that. Hi JTag, JTag Dev, how you doing? Yes, descriptor heap is a good extension. I haven't used it because I want to stick with descriptor buffer of device addresses for now. But I'm not sure. I just know if you've worked with DirectX, like that's the extension that you'd want to be using because it's closer to what DirectX pushed. I haven't worked with DirectX, so I've got like a and I don't want to have to worry about it too much. Yes, they definitely are different to descriptor heaps. So I'm trying to stick with one at the moment, and buffer device address is what I'm trying to stick with. Yes, you can use both. I can't imagine why you would not be, that you couldn't use both. For me right now, I'm just trying to figure out some kind of issue when it comes to updating the shaders. One of the shaders is updating in a different way to another, and they're, I think, receiving the same data, and it's getting really confusing. And I'm just wondering if it's the way I've done the device, the descriptors. One is just using pure buffer device address, and the other one is using descriptor set layouts, like in Vulkan 1.0 kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm just a bit. I've been I've been here for a while, just trying to figure out this one issue. I can actually show you. I'm just trying to figure out why. Ignore that line. That's just turned up out of nowhere. So when I give the same position data to this duck, it goes really slow, and I've currently, hang on, let's actually show you what's happening. That's a bad example. So they're getting the same amount of data from each other. The same function call receives the same matrix, and one of them moves really quickly, one of them moves really slowly. These are both models. They're not, there's nothing different about them. It's just this position is like, it takes a lot of units of movement or whatever, you know, like 4,000, it takes 400 units to get this to move anywhere at all, whereas this one at the same speed can like disappear off into oblivion. Yeah, so I don't know what is going on, to be honest. It's very confusing. I mean, like I said, they have the both of them are using this. There it is again. This is just inside a for loop. I kind of unrolled this for loop trying to see if that was it, but no, it's that didn't do anything. I know I've got the same thing here twice, but even if I do this, it's a bit confusing, because if I do this for 0, like you would imagine you're supposed to, whoops, only one gets updated. So it might be the way I'm accessing the data. Yes, redefined. So it might be the way I'm trying to access the data. Sorry, insert the data into something. And where that line's come from. But oh, now there is 2. Okay. Wait, what? Or am I tripping? Okay. I think I just moved my camera around and got confused. Yeah, because the other one doesn't exist now. It must be inconsistent junk data. I just can't think of anything else that it could be. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep digging. Keep digging. Just gotta keep fighting. When I open it up in Blender, they have the same model size. Well, roughly anyway. So if I'm moving all the vertices by the same amount in the vertex shaders, I assume they would be moving by the same amount. Because I did think that. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. Because they should be... I don't know, it's like... What I might do is just... bypass the second get center of mass lookup and just store it so it can be used later. I don't know. I don't want to do that because that just makes like there's a lot more stack allocations happening inside in draw time, but I think for now we'll do that for debugging purposes. And hopefully... so this is the moving position. And... set... Can I set the identity to this? That's a good point, that. Yeah, I could just lerp and just see what the differences are between the two. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. Let me try my idea, and then I'll see if I can just do a lerp with CGLM, and then just convert that to a map 4 and then push them up and see what the differences are. Because, yeah, you could be right. It could be the physics. How would I do? Oh yeah, it's probably... You know, that's fine. I just need to make sure that it gets updated. So we're just going to set this to 1. Again, this is all scruffy code that's going to be removed, assuming that it works. If I is equal to 1, 1, so this is the actual moving stuff, then we set this. And then what I want to do is just be like, alright, for you guys, you're just both taking the same answer. So they're not even used. Right. Nope. The same, literally the same data. Come back. Yeah, let's turn off physics. No, what do I want to do? How do I turn off collision detection? No, but even if I move the position... Yeah, let's try... I could literally just add Z to a yeah, let's do... Okay, so what I'm going to do is, instead of using the physics, make trans... what was it? Make trans... Late, that's the one, not transform. And we just need a vec3. So this will integrate in itself, but it won't use that physics engine stuff at all. So I just need to translate it by a vector. -4 0 dot f 0 dot f. Oh, yeah, this is C, I think. Oh, got an extra. Nope, I'm blaming C for nothing. I know that was right, sorry. Let me just make this to a temporary variable then. Vec3's I don't know, movement position. Something like that. Yep. I think this, yeah, it's ordered. Oh, I'm being dumb. The return type's wrong. I was throwing it into a function that doesn't make any sense, so that should return a map4s. And this, for these, should return a map4. And duplicate that for the 0th elements. So all of them should be moving at the same speed. The same... hang on. I think I made a mistake. Oh no, it's there. Okay. I redefined it. Okay. So no physics. The physics is running, but it's not going to be touching anything. That's not moving. That's not moving. Well, at least they're consistent, I guess. What? Oh. Let's get rid of this. I thought that would be overriding it, but maybe not. No, I want to take the original matrix, right? How do I do the original make transform? Make, translate. There's one I actually want to use here that's... That's the one, yeah, just translate, which takes in the original matrix and then, yeah, I was using the wrong function call. We need to take in the position multiplied by whatever. I think we were kind of doing some, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it could have just been an identity matrix. Which is no good. Okay, so that's moving by like a reasonable amount. However, I have no idea where the other thing's gone. Alright, let's get rid of one element from this. I think we're getting some issues here. What I'm going to do is just have one element in this array and then just see if that was the issue the whole time. Like, it's not obviously what I want to do, but if it's like two, what is it called? Two of these causing issues, then I'm just going to go down to one. Which kind of defeats the point of doing a buffer, but hey, we've got to see. So yeah, one doesn't exist now. Oh, no, get rid of that. So effectively that's just an arrow operator, I guess. Oh, I'm inserting into an array, hang on. I think it's this, oh, no it is. There is an example of that. Nope, okay. I think I'm also inserting somewhere else, which is fine. This, I think. Nope. Get out of class view, completely useless. And is there anything else? I don't think so. Okay. We'll see, we'll see. What? Why aren't you moving at all? And where's the thing gone? I don't know if this is slowing things down. Let's get rid of them anyway, because they're kind of... It's kind of nice to have, but it's not really helping. Right, okay, so... Right, whatever. No, these are fine. Going to sleep and staying awake are kind of useful. What are you doing? I see you moving. Why are you so far away? You're also moving. Where's that rock gone? I wonder if I had it right before and it's just the printing to the screen is causing everything to just take billions of time. Because that would be mildly embarrassing that everything was fine and it was just that issue. But why would that affect one and not the other? That's the question, if that is the case. But anyway, let's see if it was. That. Let's keep going. Let's change the song. This has been on for ages. Okay, we got the victory song. We can't go wrong now. We're about to solve everything. Right, so I'm just gonna bring this back the way it was. We're not gonna do this anymore. I might even put this back in a for loop, but for now it's fine. Bring this back, put the J, and what was that function called that I wrote? Convert to map 4. Right, okay, so is the duck still moving? Is the duck even moving at all? Okay, the duck is moving. Okay. Right, obviously I got the other thing wrong, but that's fine. To fix. Yep. It's fine. That's... Where's the duck's position? It's 10, okay. I'm just updating things wrong now. Or a matrix is wrong. I feel like I'd just do this as well. Or not. What do you return? Why do I do that? That's clearly wrong. Oh, because I'm destroying it. Oh, hang on. You know what? I'm gonna do what I did originally. I wonder if I'm screwing up this so bad for the other one that it doesn't make any sense anymore for it. All right, let's we're gonna have to like shield our eyes for a minute because this is horrendous how you have to fix this if you're gonna do it manually. Because they're two different file formats, so they're the same in the sense that it's, but new position 1, I guess. So you have to get out 4 vectors and then you have to assign them one by one. So col 1 should have assigned them something. Let's go. This is J R vec3 equals test 1 for now. Arg then? I don't exactly know what it wants. Colon. What are these things? I thought they were just vectors. Oh, vec4, just vec4. Whatever. Right, now I can duplicate this and it will be way easier to fix. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3. And then the test values. Now it needs to be assigned. One at a time. Which is like that. They are on column major order, so it's not like super difficult, but it's ugly as hell. Alright. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that new position 1 should be now acceptable in that format with the correct data. We can get rid of this because we just. I'm gonna put I in here so we don't have to do that more than once. All right. I don't think we care about that because we're going to assign it values anyway. Oops, nearly made a mistake. This is why extremely fragile code. So, oops. Doing this. 3, 4. Okay, so nearly made a mistake there. New position. You've got everything. So we're absolutely ruling out the value destroying the previous. And again, we're just going to do the same here. No, new position 1. All right. Right. Okay. So, do I want to do anything else? No. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we're back to square one. Why did I want to do this though? There was a reason. Hold. There was a reason for this. Oh yeah, let's just check. Hang on. One thing that could be. Let's make sure there's no like. Oh, that was it. The collision detection of the collision detection text. I was wondering if that would was slowing things down. Nope. It seems about the same speed, doesn't it? Hmm. I'm not sure what to try now, to be honest. It's funny because I made so much progress off stream and then hit a brick wall immediately, which is unfortunate. I guess that's just life. Yeah, because if we weren't doing... Yeah, programming 101 indeed. It's similar to that thing where you think, oh yeah, I'm going to show you this, and then it just immediately breaks when you try and show something to someone. You'll watch now. I'll end the stream and I'll like make progress again. The streaming cares. It's like my brain is shy or the code is shy. Let's think. No, I don't think ending this stream will actually make progress, but you know, you never know. It's one of them. No, I'm trying to think and talk. It's not good. I think I jumped the gun a little bit, maybe, and I just need to simplify the debug renderer down, because it's possible that the data I'm sending up to the shader is just not correct. No, sorry. What I'm doing is in the shader is not correct. And because of that, I'm making like assumptions based on like bad data. And I did a buffer device address immediately, just straight off rip with a bunch of data in. I just assumed that it was going to work the same with just one data member in. I'm starting to think, like, did I make a mistake doing that? That's true. I don't have the model in here, but I don't really multiply it by anything. It's not like that model has anything going on. I don't think that's going to change anything at all. Nope. Let's check there's not another one like floating off in the middle of nowhere. Nope. Doesn't look like it anyway. Make sure the streaming health's good. Give me a second. Where is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, just making sure everything's good. What should I... Right, okay, so... Yeah, I'm just trying to think about what to do with my descriptor sets. It's a tricky one because it's like, should I move? I don't want to do. I want to. Basically, I want to make these shaders more similar to each other because that will at least help, you know, narrow down some of the issues. When it comes to. But like JTag said earlier, it's one of these things where like the descriptor set layouts and the descriptor buffer device address, like they do not touch each other even a bit, meaning that you can have both and it's completely fine. So why would it be the case that in my code using both is causing this type of error? So it's like it's maybe that's not a good idea. I mean, it's maybe a good idea for a different reason, but I don't think it's going to solve this issue. It's possible the push constants is just not going to work the way I'm using it. I might give that a shot where I just use a different... We're on a different graphics pipeline. And the push constants that are taking in the... What is it called? The buffer device address indexes are the same between the two different pipelines. But it's possible because you can push a different push constants between two different graphics pipelines that they're interfering with each other. I think a good way to check if that's the case would be to do one first. So I'm always doing debug first. I wonder if I do the other one first, what will happen? So there's the bound. So there's the debug. Debug is now second, and the yeah, we're gonna have to have that moved. And throw this here. I don't think buffer device address and descriptor sets should be causing the issue with the model. I mean, what buffer did you create a descriptor set for? Basically two buffers. I have a material buffer, you know, classic, you know, just has a bunch of indexes into textures, material vectors and stuff like that, and another one that takes in, which is this one, like the global transform and the view projection. Sorry, that's the skybox, but yeah, it's down here. View projection, global scale, eye, and light, so I can do some physically based rendering based on those two values. So it's like, I think you're right. I don't think the values, I don't think the two different types are causing each other. I'm just wondering if it's the order in which it's happening in, so the push constants gets all messed up. Now I'm going to check the rendering order there. I think I've got to turn on depth. Because I think we just overwrote the... Yeah, I think it's something to do with the descriptor. Yeah, the way I'm handling two different push constances. I'm going to have to think about this a bit, I think. And do a bit of research. I think my problem actually is to do with how I'm submitting all my commands, I think. I just think the communication between the shaders is just not working. And I'm getting some weird artifacts when I draw. I'm getting something's updating, sometimes it isn't. Because the drawing of the debug renderer shouldn't be that dependent on the fact that it's what order it's in. Especially if I've turned off or on. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to have to go away and do a bit of research, and because it's going to just be a lot of me reading documentation and stuff, so it's going to require me to just sit here quietly, which is, you know, not the most entertaining. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. If you do want to join the Discord server for us, I'll just repost it. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, just write YouTube comment or something. I'll reach out some way, and I'll definitely invite you in. Because the Discord invites are for some reason not working very well. If that works, let me know. I'm probably going to leave it here, and yeah, fingers crossed I solve the problem while I'm off stream, because that'd be nice. So yeah, thanks for anyone who tuned in. Very much appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you soon. All right.